This is not an influenza season. This is a global pandemic that requires each one of us to pull together to protect our communities, families, and friends. Sadly, I must also report 20 new deaths over the past 24 hours. These are not just numbers. These are people. As our cases rise, our deaths will rise. Every time I speak about deaths, I offer condolences because each one of these people will be missed and mourned. The measures in place right now are literally a matter of life and death, and the choices Albertans are making now will determine our future in a few weeks. Turning to schools, there are currently active alerts or outbreaks in 309 schools, about 13% of all schools in Alberta. Currently, these schools have 1,046 active cases in total. This number includes 65 schools that are currently on the watch list. So far, in-school transmission has likely occurred in 151 schools. Of these, about 79 had only one new case as a result. I commend schools for the work they do each day to keep cases as low as possible, and I know parents, students, teachers, and staff continue to be concerned. As children can mimic adults, and parents know this happens at inopportune moments, our schools mimic what is happening in the community. This means that when we drive community transmission down, we will see this reflected in school numbers. So if you know a teacher or a student going to school each day, think of them as motivation while you recommit yourself to public health measures. We have entered an exponential growth period, and that is, of course, deeply concerning because we do continue to see our growth rate above 1. So I just received the numbers from the analytics team this afternoon, and unfortunately in both large centres, Edmonton and Calgary, in the rest of the province and the province as a whole, we have not even managed to reduce our growth rate to just a flat 1. And even with a small growth rate and many, many active cases, we will continue to see this kind of exponential spread. Now, the R value that was run with our current numbers, it's too soon to see the impact of the measures that were put in place on Friday. And so again, we will watch that very closely. And we do need to consider the fact that because exponential growth means essentially doubling time, it's not like we'll grow from 1,000 to then 1,200 and then kind of slowly over time, that it will grow very quickly. So if these measures that were put in place last Friday are not enough, we will absolutely be bringing forward recommendations for additional measures because we are in a critical time. Everyone's holidays and special occasions are looking a little different this year, as we know that social gatherings continue to be a large driver of active cases in the province. But that does not mean that we cannot still find joy in holidays or appreciate the meaning of them. Regardless of our individual beliefs, one thing that we can all take away from Diwali is that light always overcomes the darkness. I know that right now, many are feeling the darkness of COVID-19. It is concerning to see increased numbers in our neighborhoods or outbreaks at our loved ones' continuing care centre or school. It is frustrating to have more restrictions in effect when we feel we've already missed out on time with friends and family. And when we've done our best to follow public health measures, but don't immediately see results, we can lose hope. But hope is not lost. As I have mentioned before, there is a lag time between our actions and their results. If we all follow public health measures, along with any additional restrictions in our communities, we could start to see results in the next 1 to 2 weeks. So for the next 2 weeks, I encourage Albertans to redouble their efforts. Stay home if you are sick. Wash your hands regularly and don't touch your face with unwashed hands. Maintain distance from those outside your household and wear a mask when you're in indoor public spaces. Now is not the time for parties. If you are in a community under enhanced status, it is imperative that you do not have unnecessary visits from those who do not live with you. For those not in enhanced areas, remember, smaller is better when it comes to gatherings. We all need to do our part. We have great power when we work together.